Yeah, someone asked me recently, did it take a while to remember? But I would say no. I'm trying to think back. So at that time, it wasn't like I thought, oh, I had a near-death experience. It was,
Right.
I had no idea. No one was talking about it. Around that time, the phrase near-death experience, someone coined that phrase around that time, but I did not think of it at all. It's not like I knew what to think of it, but I knew I had this experience. Part of how I, had it make sense in my mind happened a little while later. But I did notice after that right away, my hands became warm when I touched people. Again, I didn't know what to make of it. I was always kind of intuitive, but that seemed to increase quite a lot. Another thing that definitely happened is shortly after that, my mom convinced me and bribed me to move back east from Colorado. And I just started meeting all sorts of spiritual people. Almost all of them had near-death experiences, and so that was a environment where I could talk about it and start learning, but I started studying death. One of the cool things that happened, and I knew this happened, but I didn't realize how cool it really was, is this in my apartment, back in New York, someone knocked on the door, and nowadays if someone knocks without me knowing because of cell phones, I think it's like, what's going on? But someone knocked on the door. I answered the door. There was this beautiful woman there. She said, I'm the sister of a really good friend of yours, and she told me some things about you, and I wanted to get to know you. And she introduced me to the first, I guess, real, authentic spiritual teacher that I met. And just that she showed up at the door, without me doing anything. It just like, and things like that have happened in my life since, just making sure I'm staying on my spiritual path, basically. She introduced me to this guy who is a Sufi sheikh, which is part of the Islamic religion, and the Mevlevi dervishes, who follows the teachings of Jalaluddin Rumi, Rumi's become a famous poet, that people read his. So his love poems were really mostly about either God or his teacher, Shams Tabriz. And, people read them now and put a romantic twist on them, but really they were spiritual, God's love and his spiritual teacher's love. So the sheikh started to talk to me about a couple of things that, that's what I experienced, because I didn't know how to explain it. He talked about the ocean of divine love and benevolence. And I thought, that is what I felt, like the love and just that everything was okay. That was a way to describe it. He talked about Mary and Jesus. He talked about Mary's love for God, how that opened her up to receive the Christ energy. And I thought, wow, that was how I felt, that love for God and receiving that energy. And then he talked about Jesus, and just as soon as he mentioned that, I go, that behind me, that white light being was Jesus telling me I have to go back. And still to this day, those words ring very true to me and really stir my heart and all sorts of things. It's really great.